be at a restaurant seeing that kind of stuff, you know. I mean, you're trying to go for a nice peaceful thing here. So anyway, that made for hard times, really hard times. Hey, I quit coffee about 3 weeks ago, a month ago. I bought some coffee yesterday. I'm loving it. Oh, it's so good. Anyway, I gotta say yes to me sometimes. Anyhow, so here we are in the thick of it, and we did find, like I said, I found strength. My wife found information, and that's when we began. Um, we realized that there was something going on in his body that was creating the cognitive issue. It wasn't a mental issue creating a physical issue. It's a physical issue creating a mental issue. I'll say it again. He suffers from mental toxicity. If you look up the hallmarks of autism, and then you look up the hallmarks of heavy metal toxicity, they lay on each other just right. They're the same. So the thimerosal, be it the mercury-based preservative that was in the medicine, latched onto his organs, and that's what made him sick. And that's why we're seeing what we're seeing. Now, I'm speaking ahead of my knowledge at the time. At the time, I just know he's sick. I know he's hurting, and I know he is angry, violent, and miserable. Very, very sick. That's what I knew. So we started looking at nutrition and what was going on in his body. And at the same time, we began starting to go to school. And that was hard, because every day you get him to go to school, he didn't really want to go. And handing him off to the teachers, you feel like you're handing off, like, a hot mess. And a lot of times it was, but of course these people are trained for this. They're into it. And back in the day, I mean, they were trying new things. They didn't know it worked, but they knew they had to have something work. And public school is going to have to accept them. So we got him in, to school, and he began to be with other people. And every day was a meeting. And the IEPs. You had to make those things. I'm sure anybody knows what I'm talking about. Knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, it was so difficult every day to deliver him and his brother to school, and wait for that phone call of him going crazy or needing some support, or teachers wanting to know what's going on. How could they help, or something, right? So I mean, it was constant stress every day, and I think we're in year 4 now, and year 4 of that, And yeah, so he's about 4, 5. Yeah, yeah, and it was just really hard just to be normal. And coming home to that normal, there wasn't a whole lot to really come home to that made you be like, hey, this is joyous. I'm successful. I'm winning. Yay, look at me. Coming home to my beautiful family. And I was. They're beautiful, and don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. It's just, at what point do you realize that this is mess? This is really hard. Damn it. Dang it. Not that it's supposed to be easy, but whew. Well, anyway. Yeah, that's when we started thinking about the food. Yeah, we knew that there was just stuff he wouldn't eat and wanted to eat and couldn't eat, and we started talking with other parents, as we're waiting to get into class and getting out of class and all that. And we talk with other parents, and they'd have their thing going on, and I don't remember her name, but I don't think she'd mind me calling her crazy. She was nuts. But she was nuts in the right way. Like, the people, the system, the thing that should have been there for her was not, so she had to go out on her own and fight for her own. And that definitely made her a little nuts. But she asked us, have you ever looked into a nutritionist for your son? And said, no, no. She said, do that. And she gave us the name of Susan Blanc from Kitchen Table Remedies. And she was in Castro Valley, California. That woman saved my family. And she told me what I tell my customers when I know I've done the best I can. I said, I'll never see you again, or I don't ever want to see you again unless you want more. What that tells me is what that should tell my customer, and what she told me when she said, here you go, here's your papers, here's your prescription, I never want to see you again. She says, I've got you wrapped up. If you do these things, I don't have to see you again. So my message as an electrician was, if you don't touch it, other than the switches and the plugs, it's good forever. I'll never see you again. That's why you paid. So, so I get a little ahead of myself there. But, crazy mom says, hey, have you looked at nutritionists? And we're like, no. So we did. And I learned that my insurance, which was very good, would not cover it. That's how I knew it was going to work. If the industry that gave me the problem says you can't do that thing because it, to help your problem because it's not covered, that means it doesn't support what they did. That means it's going to work. So, and turns out Susan Blanc was going to be a medical doctor, and then she got to looking at what she was learning, and she's like, we're not treating the people, we're treating the disease. We're not treating the people. We're not keeping them healthy, we're waiting for them to get sick. We all know about that kind of philosophy. She's not a big capitalist. She might be a commie. Thinking about people first. Gosh, what do you do in this society when capitalism is its own pig, right? Yeah, eating their own excrement. Instead, we got someone like Susan Blanc who decided to walk out of the medical community knowing that level is a bunch of boo-boo. And she decided to become a nutritionist. And with that, she gave us a prescription for health. And it worked. No dope. My son is recovered from autism and all this brain fog and all of this. I mean, the episode's coming where I show his pictures where it's like eyes under, the bags under his eyes are full of blood. It's like purple. It took me 3 days just to stop crying looking at that photo because that was the face of his suffering for 7 years. So the nutritionist got us set up on stuff, and I could talk about that another time, and I promise I will. But she got us set up on stuff like, the supplements and chelation, which is the ridding of the body of heavy metals. And I'll wrap this episode up because we're about to get hot with the next one because, anyway, I'll wrap it up with it worked. Nutrition works. And it made things a lot worse for about a year and a half. But ever since then, it's only better, better, better. And let's see. He's the only child in his community that's not on any kind of drugs of any kind. So the Native Americans have a great saying that says, eat your food as medicine or you'll have your medicine as food. Okay. Simple, right? Eat your food as medicine or you will have your medicine as food. Now, what does the industry really want for you? Happy, healthy, contented people want for very little. If you are happy, there's no market there. If you're healthy, there's no market there. And if you're content, that's the end of the dollar, isn't it? All right, so happy, healthy, contented people want for very little. So that tells me that the things that my insurance won't cover probably are going to help my situation. Because they don't pay me when I'm healthy. They make me pay them when they're sick or when I'm sick. So, nutrition worked. And in the next episode, I think we're going to get some traction on nutrition. We're going to talk about what it was like to start cooking. I went from Hot Pockets to the damn kitchen. It worked. I know how to cook. And I know how to feed him. Oh, man, feeding him was brutal. Brutal for 3 years, every meal he ate came with my two fingers shoving that food down his throat. Boop! You eating it with my fingers too, baby. Go. I don't care. You know, I bite my finger. You did everything else, Timmy. Come on. Yep. It gets real messy like that. But I'm telling you right now, the success came and it still is here. This thing, I mean, I was such a mess at the time. And so was the boy. Mess no more. Now it's just like raising a child.